How do everyone? Welcome back to the Potty Mouth Garden Club with my friends, my gardening friends here, Jess, Audrey, and JB. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Jess, what are you drinking out of? That looks a huge pot of tea. To be honest,
It's a cup of tea that's supposed to last me an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
funny. Well, that would, to be honest, I'm drinking. That's my little cup of tea there. But I've seen, because I love tech. There's a gadget you can get that keeps your tea. It's a cup that keeps your tea warm at exactly the degree you want forever. Which I think, because it's always mine's free. It's freezing cold. Do you know what I mean? And I still drink it, but I think, it's a fortune. It's about £150 for a cup. And if my wife found out that'd be pretty. But Jess, it's lovely to have you. Lovely to have you here. Welcome. Thank you very much. Audrey, nice to see you.
Good to
Are
be
you
here.
good? Now it's
Yes.
just I noticed straight away, Audrey. But I don't know if does anybody else. Can anybody else notice? I'm going to give you 3 seconds. One with Audrey's background. 1, 2, 3. Did anybody notice anything?
I got it.
Did you, Jess, did you get it? Yes. Lights are off.
They are.
Lights are off. Wow.
Everything's outside.
Everything's outside and planted?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, no, not even close.
Well, we'll get to what you've been planting, Audrey, a little bit later. But yes, that's... so that means then the lights are off for good? Or
No,
this year?
they're off just
For
until...
the sure.
No, I'm just behind a little bit on my succession sowings. So
Right.
once those start, they'll go up there.
Right.
So 1 row of lights will be on, that's all.
Right.
So a lot less light.
JB, how are you doing, sir?
Hello.
Nice to have you. Nice to have you back there. I don't know. Were you gone last week? Was it? I can't remember. The days are all blending into one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no idea. No idea.
Oh, that's not just me. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. So,
Thank you for having me.
JB has got a little special announcement. JB.
Yes. I have a very exciting announcement. Today's show is sponsored. We have our first sponsor, and it is sponsored by vegplotter.com. Now, I've got a little ad read to do, and we did a little practice in the green room before we started, and no one could keep a straight face. It was really funny talking to them because I was like, yeah, maybe you'd like to sponsor our podcast called Potty Mouth Garden Club, which is not the most attractive name for advertisers, I don't think. But yes, so today's ad read. Do you need help organising and keeping on top of your vegetable garden? Vegplotter.com is here to make garden management a breeze with their top-rated planning tools. Explore the benefits of companion planting with Vegplotter.com, where you can position your plants to support each other's growth and deter pests naturally. Our intuitive interface simplifies garden planning for gardeners of all levels. Join the thousands of gardeners who trust vegplotter.com. Start your free plan today and discover why we're the go-to solution for creating vibrant, productive gardens. Nearly got there. Head to the... yeah, I nearly got pretty good.
Yay, good
There
job.
is, head to the description below as well, where Tony has hopefully remembered to put a 20% discount.
Of course, I've remembered. Yeah, but a big thank you to Veg Plotter. That's lovely. First one. And actually, I wish I had recorded the first one when JB did the little talk there for Veg Plotter, because it was almost like Radio 4. Hello and welcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to perfect my my advert voice. We'll get there.
It was fab. Well, thank you very much. So we'll be having pop over, please, Veg Plotter. There's a link. There will be a link in the description. So have you used Veg Plotter then, JB? Is it just like, because I always find these things though are great for winter. Do you know what I mean? It's like when winter comes, it's like the dream time for what we're doing now. You know what I mean? The planting out and everything like that. So
yes, I have used it. I really rate it. That's why I was very glad to kind of have them as a sponsor of the show, because I rate it. I think it's pretty good. I used mine. I did the majority of mine. It was fantastic for planning out all my raised beds. So it was kind of at the start of winter before I'd actually built them all, and it was so good because it's on mobile too. So when I was at the plot, I kept referring back to the plan, going, "Oh, like what length do I need to cut this wood and that bit?" And I was so glad I had it kind of like there and on the cloud and easy to access. But they've got loads of other stuff to actually plan out your vegetable garden and what's going where. And I've actually found it really useful this year.
And does it have, like I've been in my allotment trying to do the minimum like vegetables in a certain bed. Have you tried that where you put your cabbage in, you're thinking, well, they're only telling me 4 cabbages in an 8-foot bed. Does it do the exact proper size?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
So it's got when you kind of, it's based on, you basically click the vegetable you want to do and then you drag it out over the space, and it will, the default spacings are like what's recommended. And it is really shocking when you put it in and it's like, wait, there's only 2 plants that are meant to go in here? That kind of thing. It's like, it thought I should probably have about 12 tomatoes in my polytunnel. I'm like, we'll go with 30. We'll go with 30 in the tunnel. It'll be fine. But
Also,
you can edit it. You can edit the spacing manually. You just type in, X number of centimeters. So it is editable.
Right. Jess, have you used anything like software for garden? Are you a total natural when it comes to this?
Years ago, there was a computer program, like desktop computer program, that was attempting to do what Veg Plotter sounds like it's actually achieved. It was a bit ropey. And I didn't really get on with it. And besides, I tend to, because there's 2 of us doing it, there's sometimes a bit of a lack of communication, and it doesn't matter how well one person plans it. You come up and there's like chickpeas where you're supposed to have 2 cabbages or whatever. So yeah, it's a bit tricky, but it would be useful, like JB saying, like if it's on mobile, I'm guessing both of us could have the same plan, in which case, like,
would Mum go for that kind of thing, Jess? Would you know what I mean? Or is Mum a total like, what? Why would I need that? Do you know what I mean? I don't. Would Mum be up for that kind of thing, like garden experience?
So. Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, every year we're like, right, this year we're not just going to plonk stuff in, and every year we still plonk. So maybe if we actually had it in like rigid form, like putting it in an app like that would do, maybe that would change us. So we might give it a go.
Audrey, I can tell Audrey's never used it. Audrey's a traditional gardener where just plunking's the best thing. Is that not right, Audrey?
It's not even close.
No?
No.
Audrey's not a plonker.
I have 2 different ones that I use.
Right.
So, yeah. So no, I'm very computer happy.
So I'm guessing then, Audrey, I'm not being kind of, you've been gardening more than what we've been gardening. So you're
more
kind
than
of right.
JB has been alive. I have been gardening. And I only say that, Jess, because I'm not sure how old you are, and I don't ask that you say anything. I just know how old JB is. And I'm like, yeah, he wasn't even born. So yeah.
Do you use them all the time then, Audrey? Do you almost rely on that kind of stuff because of the size of your garden? Or
I don't know if I rely on it, but it helps me visualize what I can, like what they say I can do, and then I know I'm going to jam 50% more in that space.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps me kind of get a feel for how much I can really grow. So yeah, I love them. I love them. Now, a lot of times during the year, I just live with my database. That's all I do, because I can record all my dates and all that stuff. But yeah, for planning for the year, absolutely. I think they're great.
Well, I'm still using, mind you, what Jess recommended, the journal app on the iPhone. I just think I've never, we've mentioned this umpteen times, but a notebook's just not me. Writing physically is not me, but taking a photograph and like 7 words is me. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the phone. So I
think it would work quite well together, because obviously the journaling app is like is an after it's happened thing, and the Veg Plotter is like planning it ahead.
Yeah,
and I think if you've got a year's worth of either, you'd be kind of able to cross-reference quite well between the 2. It's useful for recording though, that the journaling one.
Oh, definitely.
There's quite a nice, relatively new feature that VegPlotter have put in, which is basically like a to-do list. So when you're doing your plan, it's based on time. So you have a little drop down for like, what do I want it to look like in March, in April, month by month, and it will automatically have a harvest date as well. So if you say I want, some lettuce in the bed in March, then when you go to June, it presumes that you will have harvested it, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's really useful.
When you put in your kind of crops as you're coming up, say you've planned out June, as you're coming up to that in May, it will be sort of saying you can go to the to-do list page. It's like transplant this or plant these seeds and that kind of thing, so you can tick them off, which I've also found quite useful.
Mine just saying planting and everything like that. I've just, I've got some tomatoes outside the back there, and I've sown from seed some basil. The whole basil's gone. The whole lot. I had about 8 plants in these troughs, and we're just snail fest. And it's kind of, it's just, actually the villagers know, and I think I've mentioned this on the show, like, there used to be old timers used to come and pick the snails to eat them. Do you know what I mean? It was a big, we've talked like this, Jay, but you should be okay now with this, you know what I mean? But there must be, I've noticed, mind, even in the allotment, the snails, especially, I thought there was slugs and snails, but it's snails predominantly, is just rife at ours. I don't know if it's all this water. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
It's a really bad year for them everywhere.
Oh, mind. And...
I just planted out, I say just like last week, I planted out a load of salvia, just like annual salvias, not the hard, tough ones. They're about this high. I put 9 of them in, I think. There's just nothing left. It's like it never happened. It's like I dreamt it. It's just not even like a stump. Often they just leave a bit of a stick with a bit of slime on it. There is nothing there. So that was really worthwhile doing, wasn't it?
Oh, it's so, because even I've got Jess, JB, Audrey, I've got that kind of scrunch down, and I've got the straw down, and it says, like, they're getting over that. Even in the allotment, they're getting over that. You know what I mean? Because you can see leaves nibbled here. And we've got I think it's called a magnolia bush that my wife bought. The buggers have been on that as well, and that's getting hammered to bits. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, and they're that rife here because we've got like an old sandstone wall, and there's like crevices in. There's just breeding. Do you know what I mean? It's like snail sex city. It's like, you know what I mean? This is the party place to come. It's like Ibiza. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, let's get a Whitburn. There's just like mounds of them in the crevices. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that was the wrong description. Do you know what I mean? Try and wipe that one from your brains. But you know what I mean? It's just like hundreds. So
amazing.
What's a good herb that snails don't eat? Does anybody know? It'd be just nice to have herbs down at the garden without being ravaged.
I mean, I don't suppose they would eat rosemary, and although you get, I've never had problem with snails on rosemary or thyme or any of the really woody,
right?
The woody herbs.
Mm-hmm. They have a finer palate than that. Apparently, they have a finer palate. They prefer the soft herbs.
They're a bit overpowering. The mouthful of rosemary.
Yes.
But I've had a real problem with mint this year being eaten. Can't get it to go. And normally mint, because it's such a strong flavour, like it tends to ward off most things. But something's just munching it. Not the pineapple mint, the one that's like slightly furrier. Yes. They're not going for that, but just the bog standard like garden mint. Keeps trying, but nothing's coming up.
Because I almost class that, Jess, as like a thug of the garden. Do you know what I mean? So that's getting halted in its tracks.
Yeah.
Do you know
what I mean?
That's
one of those things. It's like there's a lot of stuff out there. You find sometimes somebody's like, do you know what? I can't grow radish for love nor money, or something that everybody seems to be really, like everybody can grow it. For me, it's mint. I've been working so hard to get mint to establish in the garden, and everyone else is like, make sure you put it in a pot. It will take over everything. Yeah. I can't get it to take over anything. So
is that down then just to your sandy soil or not? Or
I mean, it could. Yeah, it might well be. It's just Yeah, it's just ridiculous, the soil.
I love when we
think-
just kind of add. Oh, yeah, it's just annoying.
Yeah,
What
we've
were you
had
going to say, GB?
I was just going to say, yeah, I think mint does like a very moist soil, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a wetland.
It doesn't
plant.
like the desert that is my half of Richmond Hill.
It's funny because we've got like a metal hanging basket, which looks like a little bit like a kind of horse trough, and it's full of like the mint, the fennel, which hasn't been touched. But I threw it up the top of the garden and just left it off the wall, no love and care, and that's all come back. You know what I mean? So there was parsley in there, sage, and then I've got it back in the yard. So, but
Nice.
mint's away. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, it's the thuggiest one on in that kind of that hanging basket.
Not here.
Has anybody had any rain today? just asking.
It's actually, we've got blue sky now. It's turned into a lovely
ditto
day.
here.
But it was awful this morning. Absolutely horrendous.
Well, JB, this morning, we were outside, myself and my wife, in the garden, 2 cups of coffee, bright blue sky, sunglasses on. You know what I mean? Melanie came back about, 1:30 today. I was standing with a brolly. It was so like pouring down just to help with this, like get some shopping in. It's just, for God's, like a break, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? I'm leaving the polytunnel doors open now. And I think that's wrong because the temperature hasn't been up that high. So, man, so has it been raining down yours? Has it down?
The weather's been really like just blowing over so quick that it's rain. It's making this morning I've been editing the video for this week, and it's making like continuity editor nightmares because obviously like you record a lot and you cut a lot of it out. And because you're just standing around chatting, doing nothing for like 5 minutes in the middle, and you cut it, and 1 minute, like half of my sentence is in the sunshine, and the next half it's raining.
Oh
It's
God,
like,
yeah.
It's coming over so quick. So yeah, apologies for this week's video. It's a bit interesting on the weather front.
So I forgot to ask, Jess, how is the floor?
Oh well, it's solid.
Oh,
Yeah, it's solid. I finished the bathroom, which is one major tick. That's
Looks so
actually
good.
finished. But yeah, the floor is solid. They're coming back in. Obviously, we've had the bank holiday weekend right in the middle of them doing the work. So they didn't show up Thursday, Friday, and they're not here today. Didn't mean to just punch the microphone. Sorry if that was loud. They're not here today, but then tomorrow morning, they're coming in to do the tiling. I'm so excited. So excited.
Are they, just be careful as well, Jess, are they kind of good workers, or is it like,
Really?
whoa, it's tea time, love, tea time, gotta put the kettle on?
Well, I think part of the reason that they haven't been here for like Thursday, Friday was that the guy that came in and stabilized the floor, he did an amazing job underneath, cleared it all out, got rid of all the sort of rodent skeletons and stuff that was under there, rebuilt the like the walls that go underneath the under joists, put the new joist on, and I think part of the reason that they weren't there for the Thursday, Friday is because it's an insurance job and different people are coming in to do specific jobs. He did it so quickly and so efficiently that it was like scheduled to be 2 days longer than it actually was.
Right.
So I think that's why we had like a 2-day gap in the middle. But yeah,
So
it was really good.
Because I'm sure I seen it, Jess, yours, when you showed us it, when it was all just like ripped up. It was like soil, so it had something washed away. Is that why the whole...
No, so it's just earthen floor underneath anyway, with little short brick foundation walls that then had very large wooden beams on top of them going this way across the kitchen, and then the joists sat on top of that. So there was a good like maybe 2 foot, 2.5 foot between the floorboards and where the earthen soil was supposed to be. But because it had been damp for however many years, I don't know, because of this leak, everything had rotted out. So it kind of filled itself up, and the sand underneath from sort of various things digging or whatever under there had built it up. So it was all kind of like this soggy, sandy mess.
Wow.
Yeah, but he did an amazing job, the guy. He was really quick. And it's wonderful just stepping off, because there's a little step going into the kitchen. Sorry, this is totally ungardening related. I'll make this quick. So, you step into the kitchen, and before you would step into it, and like the kitchen would move, and the sink would move, and everything would fall off the table,
Like
and
being
the
on a
island in the
ship.
middle. Yes,
You
exactly
go in
like
the
that, but like
kitchen.
really like juddery ship.
Seasick.
And now you step off and nothing moves. That's really good.
Nice.
Because I thought what was lovely, mind Jess, is when you said I'll be able to like do videos again in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
I'm so looking forward to it.
yes, so like cook. Would you do cooking videos then, Jess?
Yeah,
Would you?
so I did quite a lot of cooking videos before. I just got really into doing it. And then obviously things went wrong with the floor. And the problem is the camera, wherever you put it, the moment you shift your body weight, the camera does this.
Oh,
Because
man.
everything moves in the whole room. So yeah.
No.
And also
Well,
filming a stove where all of your food and oil is only on one side of the pan because it's all tilting towards you. It just doesn't look that great. So.
that must be a nightmare frying eggs, because I don't like when you fry an egg. I don't like it touching anything else. I like to have them. You know what I mean? So if it's like the white runs into it, not like to see a sausage or a fried tomato. It's like ruined it. Audrey, has there been any excitement in your life then? Tell us what you've been planting.
Well, we got a little sidetracked this week. We're having a couple events here in July. So it was the honey-do list was, I believe the deck is next that needs to get refinished. So we had to clear all the stuff off the deck. So that's kind of put us back another little bit.
Was it for plants? Did you have hundreds of trays of plants on the deck?
And so they're now underneath our magnolia tree, trying to survive out in the wild. Yeah, so it's going to get power washed and repaired today. So we'll see. Yeah.
Some big events. So nothing's getting planted then since we last spoke to you?
Oh, yeah. No, we've planted a lot of pots. Let me think what else we have done.
I love this one. It's just mind goes blank.
I know. Isn't that I have an entire green stalk filled with lettuce. So I got my green stalk towers all filled out. One's with strawberries, one is with herbs, and one is lettuce.
Tony's looking confused. Do you know what a green stalk is, Tony?
Well, I think by
it's a vertical
yes.
planter. Yeah.
Have we got them over here then? Have us anyone?
Now you do, Tony. You need two.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's a company that
right.
I think they're in Sweden or Switzerland.
And for our next sponsor,
no, but they sell directly to the UK.
Right.
So you guys can now get them.
Because I've seen them before. Are they like a handy little thing? Are they? Or?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can put 48 lettuce in 1 3-foot square space.
Right.
I've just looked it up on the thing, and the first thing that came up is obviously a knockoff version called Mr. Stacky.
That's what I'm looking
Oh
at.
yeah, no. There is a place. There is a place that really sells green stalks. Mr. Stacky.
Mr. Stacky.
What's the I don't want to kind of put you on the thing. What can you see or JB the price of them? Are they a deer thing or the?
Well, Mr. Stacky is very reasonably priced, but
Well,
I don't know about the quality.
By just its name, I would think it would be reasonable.
It's about 35 quid, which actually you get a lot of plants in those, don't you?
I mean, I don't have any reference for how big that is. It kind of looks like it could be a whole load of egg cartons stuck on top of each other.
Yeah, it's only this big. I think they're meant to be about 5 foot high, right? They're meant to be like
really
big.
Oh,
Yeah, they're normally green stalks are like
green stalks are at least 5 feet. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to race JB to the email because he'll beat us, you know what I mean? He'll be like, X, would you like to sponsor the, you know what I mean? Like, he'll beat us because I'll be editing this video. So funny, I tried like a cloth mat and it had loads of little, unless it was just off Amazon, it didn't. You know, I don't know if it was just me, it just didn't seem to work.
Is that
It
the
just,
pocket one?
yes, like a green, and I had about 72 pockets on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Wow.
those dry
It's such a
out
small.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly. Audrey, yeah,
the
exactly.
minute you look at them, those are dry.
So, does
Yeah.
yours, Audrey, self-water itself? Like, has it got a reservoir, or have you got to go around with a hose pipe?
No, here's the cool thing about them, that you just water it from the top, and they have a drip system that goes through the entire.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so you don't have to water each pocket all the time.
Oh,
And
that's good.
I did
That's
get
smart.
their like they have
Premium model, yes.
no, I didn't. They upgraded to a little irrigation thing, so that's going up for this year. So
So you know, I haven't even got it on the screen, Audrey. So when you pour the water in the top, are you pouring it into a reservoir in the
Mhm.
top? Or, all right.
Yep.
So once that's full, you walk away and leave it, and you know you've done your watering for the day.
right,
You're all right, right?
yeah.
I really want one.
Mm.
I really want one. I've never really looked at these before properly, but I've just imagined filling it with strawberries in the polytunnel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's that I have strawberries in one right now. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if I roll it into my garage, they should make it over the winter. Because the pockets are so small, they can overfreeze. But if I put them in my
All
garage,
right.
they
Right.
make it. So
Imagine having one of them. I
Dear
haven't.
green stalk.
I've got a chimney in the back garden that's sort of a similar situation with lots of different things. But I have tried. Well, we've had that for longer than I've been alive, and I've tried probably every year of my life to grow strawberries in it, and I can only ever get them to grow out the top. There's no fancy watering system in that, and it's clay. So the moment you water it, it just like all the moisture just gets sucked out. It's like yeah.
Mind you, JB.
Hello.
Did anybody watch JB putting together his which?
Oh
I
God.
swear to God, one of the best bits of Sorry, I'll rephrase that. One of the shittiest demonstrations I've ever seen of a solo kind of self-watering system.
Oh yeah, that's so low. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Hope this works.
Oh, I've dropped. Oh, I've cut it too short. Oh, I didn't realize you had to plant it in the ground. There was so many wrong things. It was so bad. It was good. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was going for. It was a real, open the box and see what you can do with it. I don't really know if it's any good yet either. It was super cheap. It was like 25 quid off Amazon. So.
But
we'll see.
What I did notice was you switched it on, it worked.
Yeah,
Do you
it
know
did
what I mean?
work, which is a good starting point.
Have you got it set up properly now, JB?
Not yet, no. So I have had like a rocket up my ass this week. I have done so much. I've really been on it because we're going on holidays shortly. I really want to get loads of stuff done. So I've been like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm down there, I'm recording, editing the next day. I was up there yesterday from 8 o'clock until 6:30. I think possibly the longest shift I've done at the plot. But no, despite that, I still have not cut the irrigation to size. But I got loads of stuff done yesterday. And hopefully today, after recording, I want to go and do a bit more in the polytunnel, get the auto pots plumbed in because they're not quite done yet. Get the ground kind of prepped for the tomatoes, get some nice manure down and that kind of thing. I've done all my supports, so I've just been editing a video like frantically before we started recording today of all the stuff I was doing yesterday. And one of those things is getting all the tomato supports. So I've got some timbers across the top with all the strings coming down. I'm just like, yes, I'm so excited. And yes, because all that is done now, I'm very close to putting the irrigation system out, and hopefully it will be good.
So the irrigation system, Jimmy, are you going to rely on it?
Well, I don't really know what it's going to be like growing in there because it's first year with the polytunnel, and with all the rain we've had, any time that I've dug into the soil, it's like really quite saturated under there. Not like in a negative way, but because it's got continuity with all of the ground outside, it's kind of held onto moisture quite nicely. So I'm
Right.
hoping that will be quite a nice buffer. And I think growing in the ground is always going to be much more forgiving in terms of watering than growing in pots. So the irrigation system was mainly, well, I thought it was going to be a drip system. So one of those things where the drippers sit above the soil and then drip down. And I thought that would be really good because you're going to have that little bit of wet soil to increase
Maybe you should have
humidity.
looked at that before you opened the box and pressed record. Just an example.
I literally just pulled it out, recording. Here we are.
Well, that'd be no fun. Like,
Yeah.
plan ahead. Wait, what?
I think the system that they've got is actually probably much better at directly. It's if you've not seen the video, it's like a spike that goes into the ground, and the water you plug the water in at the top, and then the spike goes into the ground. So you're watering the roots, and you're not losing a load of water to evaporation and transpiration. So yeah, I think if it does get really hot in there, though, it will be like a weight off my mind knowing that the tomatoes are getting enough water, especially considering that I'm really, really packing them in this year. I've got dangerous levels of tomato going in there.
Even though Veg Plotter's told you how many to put in, you just like
ignore that.
Well, Tony, your polytunnel looks like a jungle.
Well,
I don't want to talk about it. Can we not? I'm so jealous.
No, it looks so good.
I'm chuffed a bit, but I'm still, to be honest, I was all, you kind of think of a thumbnail when you put like everything looks great, but I'm still nervous. Do you know what I mean? Because like you go away for a week and I had really no one. Actually, I had Aidan go up to water me sweet corn, but all that's just left. You know what I mean? And you think it's only coming up by a little bit of cloth, and these, the cloth, like the capillary, and these are now getting big old tomato, stems. They're quite like a meaty thing. I'm thinking, is that enough to get? But I had a little tickle under where the water lies, and I can feel the roots now coming out. You know what I mean? So, and I used the A and B, the NutriGrow or whatever it's called, that comes with those quads. So, yes, that actually leads me to Growing Local's got a competition that Ian mentioned. I'll just I'll put this up. He's got a competition which can I just pull that? I don't know if you can see there.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so you can win first prize. First prize is 8 quad grow systems. Second prize is 4, and then third is it's the deep cell, the Garland 28 deep cell router, which I kind of think's marvelous, to be honest, as well. So there's 3 ways to enter. Refer a friend. So I quite like this one because this is just a free way to get an entry in there. Suggest a seed variety grown local or previous order number. Now, I think it's open till, I'm sure, where is it? There was a
June 14th.
Yes.
June the 14th. So please, there you go. There'll be a link in to it's grownlocal.co.uk summer giveaway, but I'll put a link in the description as well for anyone who comes later on. June 14th, you've got until that to win a quad grow. Jess, would you like to win a quad grow, or is it something that's a little, you prefer your kind of normal method of?
I have got my quad grows.
Yeah.
They are sitting there. They've been fished out and looked at and admired, but they've gone back in the box until I'm ready to actually set them up in the greenhouse. But I don't know what you're talking about with your blooming tomato stems like this. I've only just potted mine on out of their single cells, so they're only about this big.
I'm so glad it's not just me.
But Johanna came round, what day was it? Day before yesterday, to do a bit of swapping because she had some tomatoes I wanted because I desperately needed more tomato varieties, and she took some of mine.
Many. Do you know what I mean?
But hers came in pots this big, and they were waist height tomatoes, and I was literally swapping them for tomatoes this big. She must have been like, this is a very inadequate swap.
Absolute scam.
It was. I know. She brought me a chicken and some massive tomatoes, and I just gave her some yeah.
It's the beauty of the heated greenhouse, isn't it? It really is like a massive game changer for you, Tony. I've seen other
And she
people.
started hers off on like the 1st of February. And they're massive. She does every year though. Like she, but I just don't have the space to do that, so I can't.
Mind, I'll still go with the compost as well. Do you know what I mean? When I swapped over, things just started to turn a corner. Do you know what I mean? And then, like I say, I've put them in them big pots. So that was full for the first 2 weeks, you know, of like peat. Do you know what I mean? Like the real kind of real deal. So,
you know, I've been doing my compost trials this year, and so far it's been really interesting. But the one that is pulling ahead more than any others is Silvergrow, but it is a fresh bag. So it might be from a different batch, but it is
right.
I was really shocked actually, because I've been using it all season and it's been so. It's so good having a number of different composts, and you can see the difference. And
so what do you mean by
JB?
What do you mean by a fresh bag? Is it a new bag you've went and bought just for the trials? Do you know by any chance what the date is on it then, or not?
Do you know what? I haven't checked. I didn't actually check. And actually, no, the ones I used for the trial were the old batch. It was the same. It was the old batch. So it's the same stuff that I did do all my spring sowing in.
Right.
It's just very recently, at the beginning of the week, we did go to the garden centre and get a few more bags. So yeah. It's interesting though. I'll do that kind of update videos soon. I should imagine the compost trial.
I wonder where you got it. I know I'll just keep on digging and digging here. Where you got it the first time? Is it where you got it the second time?
Yes, it is. Same garden centre.
Is there a chance then it could be the same batch that they had in to begin with, or do you think they've sold out that batch and now it could be a new batch? Or
I have no idea actually.
Right.
I should look at the dates. Yeah, I've probably still got all the old bags, and they do print the date on. So interesting.
We will see. Is anybody with this rain? Audrey, do you collect rainwater over there in Detroit? So, right, just because it was when JB mentioned it, I thought, well, I must ask folks, ask her what, because when JB was doing this fantastic demonstration of the, you know what I mean? You mentioned, JB, that, there is systems and people do stick things on the polytunnel to collect water. Do you know what I mean? Now, right. I've never done that. Do you know what I mean? So how do you do yours then, Audrey? How do you...
It's taken off our... we have the 2 barrels right behind our garage because where we live, you can't see them from the street. They're supposed to be... they're actually not supposed to be in your backyard. But... Oh, well, I help me. I can, collect nice rainwater. So we have 2 large ones behind our garage, and it's just tapped into that gutter system on the garage.
Nice.
Right, that's nice.
Easy mode.
And we use all of it for when we're fertilizing, fill the buckets up with that and throw in the fertilizer.
Yeah.
And plants just respond so much better to rainwater.
They do. That's something I'm really learning. That's making a huge difference.
Because we actually had some rain yesterday, which was remarkable. We may get a little bit today, and I'm like, I realize I planted some tomato plants out last week. So I have about 12 tomatoes in right now. They'll be twice their size if they get a couple rainfalls. They'll just take right off. So yeah, I'm a firm believer in rainwater.
So I was going to say, I've always just used, because the hose pipes are there, so I've never really used rainwater. And I remember once, and I'll not make that mistake again, I got that many bloody comments, my wheelbarrow filled up with water, and I just tipped it out, you know what I mean? And I got loads like, what are you doing, for God's sake? You know what I mean? So just, do you honestly notice a difference from tap water to rainwater in... Well, especially with your tap water, it kills your bloody tomato plants.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with our tap water, but I mean, I'm not kidding. We started noting it on the calendar because once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks or so, you get out of the shower and you're the same color as your shirt. Your skin, you're just absolutely bright red.
Wow.
Every time. So, and it happens periodically. So there's obviously something in the water, but I mean, it's Thames water. They're a nightmare. But it's
They were
really,
going
we have
bust.
incredibly hard water here. So it's
Yeah,
not great. But I do collect water off the polytunnel when we have a polytunnel. At the moment, there's nothing to catch the water.
How does your system work then, Jess?
It's just because I don't know if you remember the shape of my polytunnel. It's not a roundy. It's like it's got a sloped roof like that with a top front. Just there's a gutter on that lower side that runs straight into a. Oh, I'm blurry again. That's better. Runs straight into the barrel on the side, and the barrel last year was the one that I had raised up, and it had the drip feed watering for inside the poly, so it was like a circular system. It wasn't circular at all, actually. It's U-shaped, isn't it? It doesn't go back onto the roof.
And would you get enough downpour water for good? Do you know what I mean? Like for the season, like enough rain to, or have you got to supplement it?
Yeah, I mean we've got other opportunities. Like it would be good to have one on the. Obviously, you need a roof or something that's going to collect the water. Our greenhouse would be good to put a barrel on, but we don't actually have any space on either side of it to have a barrel. And it's not sloped at all. So it doesn't really kind of, come off one end easily. And also the other two kind of buildings that we've got are both under trees, so they don't get a lot of rainfall. So that's really our only spot that's any good for collecting. And no, we don't get enough to do a lot with. But...
So have you got hose pipes on your site, Jez, have you?
Yeah.
Right. I've never even thought about collecting rainwater. I'm sure no, honestly, but I'm sure my tunnel, because you always strive to get as tight as anything. So I'm sure it's that tight. Yeah. It bevels in, around.
They do. You get for the tunnel, you get like adhesive. So it's a tape that sticks, so it doesn't matter if it's beveled. It's not like a gutter. If you try to put a gutter on it, it would just fly down, wouldn't it? I think northern polytunnels do it. I was thinking about getting it for mine because I've put the water butt right by the door. It would kind of make sense. And what I've always wanted to do to up my water storage game is actually link more than one water butt together. I only ever have one water butt at a time, connected to a gutter. But it would be nice to have 3 or 4. They're relatively easy to connect up, right? Because you just put a pipe and a connector in the bottom and water will find its own level. But yeah, I've never done it. And I've had such a bloody nightmare with my greenhouse gutters.
I mean, they're not connected. It's nothing fancy like that. But when our water gets turned off, there's like no access to water over winter. Yeah. So we do just fill those up with tap water. Like it's not,
I do that.
But you just can't without it.
But I suppose, like, if you're just filling them up with Jess, the longer you leave just the water, all the chemicals are going to disappear anyways, you know what I mean? So it's fingers crossed.
Well, you have a water butt on your allotment, don't you, Tony?
But I just use a hose pipe to fill it up. But it's...
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I have got like a system where I've got 2 hose pipes, the yellow system, 2 hose pipes go to the beds. Then I've got the green system, which goes to the polytunnel. But I do have the water butt's been there for years, and I fill it up. And before the quads, it would, like a few watering cans, it doesn't have to take it down quick.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's sharp goes down, so it's more there, Audrey, to be honest. It's like I'll wash my hands in it.
I was going to say, you wash a lot of things in it. Yeah.
Yes, you know what I mean? Well, I wash my hands, I was washing the leaks. I pulled some leaks the other week. I was just washing the leaks in there, you know what I mean? So there's normally like a sediment of sludge every winter. I've got to be kind of soaked out, washed out. So
I think the main thing about the impact of tap water is definitely the pH, right? Like you were saying, Jesse, and I just checked mine goes up to 9.5, which is quite high. So,
I've got no idea what mine would do.
Yeah, I just had a quick. Normally, it's your water company will have like a publicly available testing thing, but I think that's the main thing about rainwater that makes it so perfect. Is it's what plants have evolved to cope with the pH.
When we were up at Scotland, in that airship, it's the water's coming off like the peaty land, and it's soft water, and you're at a tap trying to get the soap suds off for way longer than like a hard water will just wash off and that's it. You dry your hands, you're away. Where it's just like you're constantly like trying to get this bloody soap, so it's just slimy, slippery. You know what I mean? So did
Amazing.
notice that. Anything else? Any gardening? Anything? Jess, have you planted anything this week, or like? How's
What
the
have I done this
kiwi?
week? The kiwi's looking great. Its
Right.
leaves have changed colour because it was a bit of a shock it going outside. It's gone a much like darker and it's got quite like red.
This isn't the
But it's
Caribbean. This is not the
exactly.
Caribbean.
It's recovering now though. It's starting to put on some good growth.
Right.
Yeah, I've made some progress with the polytunnel. The mesh is down. Now I've just got to line the inside of it with weed-proof matting, and then cover goes on, and we should be good. It's a good job my tomatoes are only this small, though. They're not queuing up to get into the polytunnel. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff I wanted to get planted out this week, but I didn't get the chance to do it. So the weather's been iffy, and then I went with Hannah down to Southampton on Wednesday, I think it was, which was good, to go and pick out vegetables for her BBC Gardeners World Live garden. Yeah,
Very nice.
Wow.
which is coming up 3 weeks. It's not very long, so yeah, we've
Right.
been picking out veg down
Do you
there.
know, Jess, is Hannah still working at the Trackall restaurant? You know, like where
Hannah hasn't worked at Trackall for like a year and a half.
Well, you know why I ask? Because the first hot day we had, we were in Newcastle, and we were on like the Newcastle side. Hannah's old Trackall restaurant,
Yeah.
the garden there is on the Gateshead side. It was smothered in folks drinking beer, sitting on the raised beds. Just, you know, like the first hot day we've had.
Yeah.
The whole place, and I was thinking, that is not getting looked after. Do you know what I mean? You could just see hundreds of people, like
Yeah.
all around a garden, and I was thinking, that was just crucified. So she hasn't worked there for a while, right?
Really long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should get Hannah back on the show.
Yeah, I think it must be like at least a year and a half that she hasn't
Right.
worked there.
So where's she working now then? Is she still gardening?
She's doing a number of things. Obviously, she's doing a lot of the BBC Gardeners World Live is a big one. She's doing a garden for that, and she's doing some work for the RHS, I think, at the moment.
Right.
So yeah, she's but I think she's changed jobs 3 times since Trackall. So you're like well behind,
Well,
Tony.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's a good job I didn't turn up. I'm just looking for Hannah. Just have a, you know. No, honestly, it was actually quite sad. Do you know what I mean? It was just like as if it had been like not neglected. I couldn't see the actual garden, but it was just like
There's going to be a lot of damage from that many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear about my allotment the other week when there was a rare bird came on? And
Yeah.
hey, honestly, mind you, there was, and I just took a photograph. I think, did I show it on here? And there was so many people. Do you know what I mean? And I even popped up the allotment on the night time, and this was probably about 8 o'clock. There was still folks walking up and down my path. Lovely. Do you know what I mean? They totally respected your garden and everything like that. But I had to leave, which got about 8:30, and I said, "Do you mind shutting the gate after you?" Do you know? And they were saying, "I think it's roosting now, but we'll just wait a little bit longer." You know what I mean? It's just this. I forget what the bird was. I called it a blue parrot, but it was an indigo, some indigo. I forget what it was now.
Yeah, I've forgotten.
And actually, one of the bird watchers said that they were speaking to one of the ladies just over the back, and it comes in the garden, love, every day. We've just feed it out. I thought it escaped from somewhere. You know what I mean? It was like there was hundreds
so
of
good.
folks there, and actually, right at the bottom where I sometimes walk along to get in the bottom side of the allotment, the grass. It just looked like festival grass. You know, like trampled and like worn. I thought this just reminds me of like an old Glastonbury pitch. Do you know what I mean? So,
How's everyone's? Yeah, I got a question. How's everyone's harvests so far this year? Like, what are you harvesting? I'm going to go, Tony. Let's hear from you.
Well,
What are
I
you up
did
to?
last year. I just left in a few spare leeks. Now we've harvested them, and I'm chuffed to bits with them. Do you know what I mean? We had them. We took them to Bristol. We had a great I had about 8 or 9, decent size, not like silly thickness, but nice size. But I also harvested, and I don't know if I've mentioned this or not. You know, I thought I had early blight with them potatoes. I chopped them all down. Well, it actually was Reed. I was standing in the polytunnel. He was at the far end of the garden. I chopped them all down and we harvested the potatoes. And they were just small, you know what I mean? Because there were Charlottes, but there was, say, most of them were like that, but they were pristine, clean, lovely. Do you know what I mean? So maybe it wasn't blight or, you know, it hadn't kind of hit the tubers just yet. But we took them potatoes down to Bristol and we had them. And he overcooked them and he bloody turned them to nearly mashed potatoes. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Thinks he's a chef, dropped the black pepper in there. So we had loads of black peppercorns floating around in there as well. And then I went, Reed, I says, it's the new potatoes. Oh, he says, I left them a little bit longer. So it was just like, you know what I mean? Like a big pile of but it was still nice. Yeah. So leeks and new potatoes we've had. That's my harvest has been like up to now.
Very good. I ask because I've harvested basically nothing. The only thing I've got, it's like we're coming into June and I feel like normally I'm harvesting so much more. And I've literally harvested lettuce. That is it so far this year. Lettuce, which is nice. But like, where's the rest? I feel like I don't know if it's just because of the slow year or I've missed something. But
we had a lot of stuff like from last year that's been going. I mean, I had a lot of brassica sprouts, so the white sprouting broccoli and the 9-star. We're still picking both of those.
Nice. They're
we
still
had
going.
a lot of stuff earlier on, like March. We were picking
last
tons
year?
of stuff. Yeah. So March, we had loads and loads of stuff. Then we had a bit of a damp patch, and then now it's the white sprouting, the 9-star. We've got asparagus coming out of your ears.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Loads and loads. Like the parsley's still looking really good from last year, so we've been eating a lot of that, and the chicory. The endive. Got quite a lot of bits and pieces, but it is mostly from last year.
That makes sense.
Tied over. Yeah.
I think that's what I need to really up my game on. Is the
overwintering. The chard we're still picking a lot of, but I'm going to have to clear that this year. Don't pull that face. You've got no.
I've got another one turning into a tree on my allotment. It's self-sowed or self-seeded, and I just love leaving it. It's been in the same place for like years, and they get to like 8 foot
they're
tall,
beautiful,
and they're really cool and freaky.
Yeah.
So I just kind of leave it to do its thing.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Well, I get to harvest broccoli this week.
Yeah, nice,
JB.
Nice.
I will think of you.
So that'll be from last year as well, was it?
Oh no, that's from this spring.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we can't overwinter that kind of stuff. So yeah, but I only grow sprouting broccolis because I'm not interested in the big head because you take them apart when you get them inside anyway. So I think we're going to have a really nice, bountiful broccoli harvest.
That's awesome.
This week, and we've had asparagus, which I love, and strawberries are coming quite soon, and lots of lettuce and radicchio from last year, which I didn't realize that's a perennial here. So it will always come back. So yeah,
how does your radicchio come back then? Because you cut it off. So
but they re-sprout.
They
right.
weren't. Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it wasn't big enough last year to do anything with, so I just left it, and it came back in the spring with a vengeance.
So it came back through your winter then, Audrey?
Yes.
Wow.
Shocking, and so did my red vein sorrel. Came through, but apparently it's a perennial here. I had no idea.
Right.
So
yeah, those radicchio are fantastic. For that, if you just cut them off at the base and leave the roots, they sprout another whole load of heads. Which is sorry, I've hit the microphone again. I'm not used to it.
Such an amateur.
But we've been picking broad beans this week, and sugar snap peas are just getting to the point of being pickable.
You know when you say picking, are you picking them from the supermarket? Because there's no way on God's green earth like my peas are like
To be fair, they've only got to about this height, but they're flowering like crazy, and they've got some really big fat pods on them that need to come off. So
I'm winning at something then. I'm winning at peas because I've got peas that are like coming up to here now.
Oh, nice!
Really going for it.
Right.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think my peas could be ready this week too.
Oh, nice.
So,
when did you sow them then, Audrey?
I put them out middle of March.
Right. Wow, they've come along.
That's
then.
potato day for you guys. Like it's St. Patrick's Day here.
Excuse me.
That was my cue to always put peas out. And this year, germination was ridiculously good.
Well, mine seem okay, but would anybody recommend feeding them like a seaweed feed? Would that help a little bit? Because mine seem to be, by the way you are all talking, way behind yours. You know what I mean? I thought I was doing good, but I don't know if I am now.
But yours do look good. You just put those in, didn't you?
I would say March sometime, Audrey.
But
had it. Where's my phone? Where's my app?
Yeah, where's that doing that?
I'm going to give mine a bit of a feed, Tony, because they were quite stunted. I started them off in the greenhouse, and I didn't really get them out at the peak time because when they were ready to go out was when we were having that real dip in the crappy weather.
Right.
So I didn't put them out. So even though they would have been able to handle it, for some reason I just didn't. So they're a bit stunted. So if
Did you do them
feed,
in the drain pipe method?
I didn't this time. I did them in the root trainers.
Right.
Yeah.
And one seed, one root trainer.
2 seeds.
2 seeds. Right.
Yeah,
right.
2 seeds to a trainer.
Right.
My second lot of guttering was a complete washout, complete fail. The first ones are amazing, and they're the ones that are like nearly chest height now. But the second one's I had about 5 peas germinate. I even I resowed it. Same variety of peas, same place in the polytunnel, same
compost.
Same compost. Oh, no. The other one, the first one I used actually had a load of spent compost and perlite and stuff, and then the second time it was just out the bag, so it could have been the compost. But I think I let it dry out. But I just bunged. I basically like scraped the gutter out next to the existing peas. And if they come up, they come up because there might be some seeds in there.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I've been having quite a lot of trouble with seeds rotting out before they germinate this year. Far more than I have in other years. Like a lot of my beans I've had to a lot of my beans I've had to resow.
Well, my beans, Jess, I'm noticing a few of them, because it's hard to kind of see. Once you get a nice covering, you think, oh, they're looking all right. But then you get closer in. There's a lot where they've just opened, but nothing else has happened. They've got that kind of cup shell on them, and there's nothing kind of growing on forward and that. So I haven't actually done Audrey's, the cow. What do you call my favourite ones, Audrey? Yes, I haven't even sown them yet, so
I haven't either. I'm direct sowing them hopefully this week. Just get them in.
But beans with like butter. Oh man. Top of the hour. That's it, kids. Finished. Break time's over. Jess, where can we find you?
Plot 37. Literally, and just online.
Online
.com and Instagram and and YouTube. I do YouTube.
Yes, there you go. That's so good. Audrey, where can we find you?
Real Food Comes Dirty. YouTube, Instagram.com.
Right, lovely. And JB. So you're not here, JB. Sorry, I'm jumping in. You're not here next week, JB. Eh?
Next week I'm away.
Right, just make sure that's no pay going there. That's right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Cancel it.
And JB, where can we find you then?
You can find me at Naturally JB on YouTube and Instagram. And I would like to say a second thank you to Veg Plotter for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
Check out the 20% discount code in the description.
Remind us to put that link in, JB. And please, if you can, go and watch one of the best demonstrations of solar-powered, self-watering pumping systems on the market. Fantastic. I thoroughly recommend it. JB is an absolute star. So much research went into that little video. So much research. I don't even think you've even seen the leaflet. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I switch this, I'll do that there. Oh, right. No, that's not right. Look after yourselves, everyone. Take good care.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.